The Unfamous Files is a fun, lively and super relatable podcast hosted by twin sisters Taryn and Shay, aspiring actors in their 30s who've been chasing their dreams for over 15 years.
While we're all about the journey in the performing arts and dreaming big, we know life's ups and downs are universal. Whether you're passion-driven, juggling side gigs or dealing with setbacks.
Our honest chats, silly stories and bursts of motivation are here to remind you success isn't just about fame. It's about staying true to what fuels your fire no matter where you're at in life.
We're here to inspire, laugh and keep it real with you guys every step of the way.
Hello. And we're back for another episode of The Unfamous Files.
Yes.
I almost went into like a big American accent moment then.
Oh,
I was
gosh,
ready to
Taryn,
intro us with like, hello, welcome.
Oh gosh, she wants to flex, guys. She's in a bit of a flexing mood.
Definitely not what I was doing.
Hey Troy,
Hey,
how are you?
I'm good.
I love your glasses.
Thank you.
I feel like Troy's scared to talk because we just had the funniest
Oh
thing
my
happen to us on the
God.
way here. We were in the
Cringe.
Uber because Shay had to get her car service. So we all came with Shaz and then we all got an Uber over to the studio. And the Uber driver was super outgoing and then he was just asking us like, what are you guys doing today? And we're like, oh, we're actually recording our podcast. And then he got up the podcast to listen to through the car. And Shay and Troy was so red.
My face went so red. I don't know why I got so embarrassed, but I think it's just actually hearing our voices to some person that I didn't know. It's like,
Why we're there? It's okay if they're listening to it when we're
I
not
know,
there.
but
But it was like...
But hopefully, like, I was just like, and then the funniest thing was it was the episode, the acting school or a cult, and it's where we congratulate Taryn for getting engaged, and he's like, wait, this is a sign. This is why I was meant to pick you up today.
And we're
We're
like, what?
What's going on? And then he whips out a card and he goes, I'm a marriage celebrant. And it was just like,
Crazy.
so.
And I think he'd actually be a very fun
Oh.
marriage celebrant. Like, he was pretty
100%.
confident, very like our kind of energy. Stu might be a bit scared, but I felt like he was our energy.
Yeah, he loved Troy's Labubu, knew what a Labubu
shout out.
was.
Yeah.
That's always impressive.
Vibes. Anyway, so
unless
Troy,
you're-
don't be scared to talk because
No, I'm fine.
he was mortified listening to his voice.
Well, today we're going to be talking about rejection.
Oh, so many different things you could talk about with rejection.
I know. I feel like, especially, like, of course, like we always do, we talk about a bit how it is to do with our industry. And I think that's a pretty easy one for people to go, oh, yeah, we've all heard that rejection is massive in an industry when you're going after something in the performing arts, acting, singing, whatever it is. It's really hard to do and to continue to do, and there is so much rejection you face. Like, I actually ChatGPT'd it, and it did say like, actors face 90 to 95% of rejection.
I was going to say, I felt like
In their career.
majority of our career is rejection,
Yeah.
and the tiny little, like you just said, 10% is the actual getting the job, which is, you know, which is definitely why a lot of people don't stick at it because it's so hard. And it is like we've said before, it's like a constant door slamming in your face. And it's like you have to try and pick yourself up every single time you get that rejection.
Yeah, 100%. And I feel like, you know, especially like even with me and Taryn being twins and everything like that, and like obviously like there's only so many twin things out there, plenty of commercials growing up. And even in the last few
keep
years.
looking at your Instagram. He's got his Facebook up on his laptop, Instagram over on his phone. Like, are you right?
Sorry, I was trying to check if my glasses were straight.
No, you were
I did not
not.
if they were straight on my head.
You do realise this is a
I don't wanna
podcast, so
look-
no one can see you.
Well, they can watch the YouTube, so plug the YouTube. Go watch it.
Well, you know what? We actually get a few views on the YouTube, guys. We're in the hundreds, so
good.
she's growing.
Well, now you've got this embarrassing moment that
Yeah.
everyone's going to see on the YouTube.
You look fabulous, Troy.
Yeah, you always look fabulous. Don't
Thank
even have to
you.
worry about it. But going back to rejection,
Yeah.
yeah, Shay, that is an actually interesting topic that you brought up about us with twins and feeling like, I feel like not only do we get compared to each other a lot, but also there's been a lot of times where one of us has gotten something and the other hasn't. And I don't know about you, Shane, as we always obviously want to be happy for each other, but I feel like that rejection hurts even more.
Yeah, it's hard because like we have this attitude, and we've always had this attitude. Oh, sorry, Troy's looking at me like, slow down.
Yeah, so I was literally like
calm
this.
down. I'm sorry, guys. Thank God we've actually got a big red buzzer today.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I want to hit it.
Good God, that's going to drive everyone crazy.
Anyway, so Jay, what you're saying, yes, being twins, usually one of us will get the part and one of us don't if we both go out for something. Or maybe one of us will even just get an audition. And I always am happy for Shay whenever she gets something, gets an audition. But I feel like that rejection in the industry hurts even more than the normal rejection for some reason.
100%. And I think it's even and it's even harder because everyone always asks you about it. Do you know what I mean?
Oh,
so it's
my God. It's a constant question. It's like one of those twin questions that we just always get asked.
That's one of the questions that we always get asked is like, oh, how do you feel if Taryn gets something? Or how do you feel if Shay gets something? And it's like, well, obviously we always try and look at it as if like, oh, if one of us gets something, that's getting our name out there.
And we'd rather one of us get it than someone else get it.
Yeah, exactly. So, but at the same time, like Taryn said, it does hurt because you're like, surely I was pretty close because they probably the person that they were kind of looking for was like us in the end because they chose one of us.
And I think, I don't know, just thinking about right now, Shay, like I also have this little fear, like I want us both to be successful and I want us both to get up there. And sometimes I'm like, oh my God, what if this is the thing that, obviously I'd love it to launch you, but then what if Shay ends up being the twin who gets everything and then I'm stuck in the background and then having that comparison? Like, do you mean if that actually happened? I'm not saying it would.
That's so funny. I've never...
I don't usually think about that, but just thinking now we're talking about it. We don't usually talk about this to each other, so maybe that's why that thought's coming to my head. But I feel like that would be a hard reality to face if one of us went all the way up there and the other one didn't come with you. Yeah,
I've actually never thought about that before, like ever. That's so, interesting to think about. But I think, I don't know, I think if one of us was to get something and start to launch, I think we create so much together that would just assist with that stuff getting up and rolling. So we'd still be there with my twinnie. I know, I'm very cute.
But should I kick us off with like one of the biggest rejections that I feel like we've had in the industry? Or?
Well, yeah, one that's really affected you, that you felt like that really affected me. Like what's
one that was hard?
Yeah, what was a really hard rejection? And I know that we face them weekly.
I was going to say, like, I feel like there's so much and they all hurt, but we've been lucky enough to grow up, being brought up quite gritty and to stay persevering if it's still something that makes you happy. But one of them that really hurt Shay, and I think it hurt because it felt like we were so close to getting something so big, like other than the Marvel one, which that wasn't a proper audition anyway. That one was still just exciting. But this one was, Shay and I had been, put on hold for this film called The Universe Most Wanted, which was a big action film coming over here starring Dave Bautista. And we were massive fans of his, obviously from Drax in Guardians of the Galaxy, because we love Marvel. And we were going to be one of the two of the aliens, and this just felt like it was going to be our big break, like our thing. It was for, twins that had good, like he had action background, blah, blah, blah. So it was us. It was in this world that we wanted to be in so badly. And then I know so many people went through this, but COVID hit and it was still going to be going ahead in Melbourne in COVID times to start with. So it was like, it's okay, we're going to be moving to Melbourne for a couple of months to film this. And then right at the last second, it like got pulled and it was a hard one because I felt like we were so close. And then since then, I felt like we haven't gotten nearly that close to something so big since. So that 100%. Rejection really hurt me personally.
100%. I feel like that too. And I felt like for a little bit I held on to the hope of, oh, this COVID thing won't be around for long. It'll be gone and it'll be back up and running in no time.
And the amount of times I checked.
2 years, yes, Troy, 2 years.
And the amount of times that I checked on IMDb to see if this movie was still in development, and it was still in development, but then Dave Bautista got Knives Out. Then he got June, and I was like, fuck, this thing's never going to get made.
He wasn't coming back for Little Universe Most Wanted, that was for sure.
What about you, Shay? I'm interested to see what your one was, because that one I was like, maybe that would be both of ours, but do you have a different one in mind?
You know what? I'm doing a pretty, generic one. I feel like every rejection, every rejection since hitting 25 onwards, I think the older you get and the harder it is when you hear when you hear the rejection, when you hear the no. When you get that no, and every year and you get okay, then it's 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. Every single rejection I get now, I think hits that little bit more. And I think it's because, we're getting older. And you're like, I thought it would have happened by now. Or I thought I would be a bit more, even if it wasn't I wasn't this big movie star by now. I thought maybe I would have a few more things up my sleeve and the ball would be kind of rolling and this wave would be going. And then, COVID happened, the actors strike happened, the writers strike happened. it's really hard for up and coming actors at the moment, and you're just like, oh, waiting patiently, like it'll pass, the time will start coming back around again. But every year you get older, every single no gets that little bit harder, I think.
That makes sense to why maybe I have been feeling the rejections more this year, Shay. I haven't really thought about it like that until you were sort of taking me on that journey since we've turned 25. And yeah, I feel like it has been getting harder and harder, and it's one of those moments where when it gets harder, you start to lose hope, the doubt starts to come in. So yeah, I haven't really thought about that until you just said that. I'm like, yeah. True. That's 100% true.
Yeah.
Now, Troy, since you've been patiently not waiting to talk, he's been staring at me like 2 inches away from my face. He's in a very pesty mood today. I don't know what you just ate. Is it from the banana bread? It must be the banana bread.
I'm feeling pretty good from my banana bread.
And the coffee. It was my coffee, and it's... I'm awake now. I needed my
extra
coffee.
energy. Giving him some extra energy. What's your rejection story? Tell us, because you're eagerly waiting to tell us.
Let me just check my glasses straight first.
Oh my God.
You are so annoying.
Ready. So obviously rejection is a wide span of like life. You know, there's rejection pretty much every day.
Yeah.
Like that's life. I obviously became a professional dancer, and similar to acting, you go to castings, you go to auditions, you submit for things, and sometimes like you would go to these castings and auditions and you have friends there and you're in the room and you come out and everyone's like, oh my God, you nailed it. It was amazing. You were the best in the... I've had literally my friends be like, you were the best dancer in the room today. And you walk out, you go, oh, cool. You know, like nailed
that,
it.
gonna get that one.
Got it. You know, it's going to be in the bag kind of thing, that kind of vibe. You're waiting for the agent to send the email, confirm dates, blah, blah, blah. And then you don't get it. And it's just like, I guess it comes down to what they're looking for. So you might not have the right hair color. You might not have the right eye color. And that's how like cutthroat. It's like acting, modeling, dancing. They're all in that creative space of like, they might not like the length of your hair or the T-shirt you wore.
Or your height.
Or the height.
Like that. Yeah.
100%. So sometimes it's just like that. But, you know, you walk away and you kind of go, I was really good. And you feel good and then you don't get it. And then there's castings you go to where it's the other way around. You don't feel great. You don't feel like you did your best. You stuff up little moments in the choreography and then you book the job and you're like...
And it's such an emotional roller coaster, isn't it? Like it's honestly your emotions like in this industry just up, down, up, down, up, down. And I would then wonder like, why on earth do we keep doing this to ourselves? And then you realise it's because I love it.
Yeah, it's because you love it. And I think it's even like what Troy just said though, like sometimes you then go to an audition and you're like... I remember stressing about this audition one time and I was like, oh my God, I just can't even picture myself saying these lines. I can't picture myself like what they want from this in this part. I'm just going to go so random with it because I just was like, you know, I'm not going to get it. I'll just go and do my own thing because the only way that it makes sense to sound natural out of my voice. And I went in there, did the audition. I was like, I could see the way I was dressed and everything. I was like, oh God.
This is not the vibe they were going for.
This is not what they were going for. But Shay just impressed the casting director and then like 4 weeks later, that's the one you get. And it's the yes that you're waiting for. I think that's what it is. It's like every time you have those no's, but then when you get the yes.
It feels so good and that's what keeps you going. It's like when people say they have babies and then they wonder why, like, I can't do that again. I can't go through labour. And then they, you know, have a year in, they see their beautiful baby and they're like, I want another one. It's like they forget why it's the yes that makes us forget all the no's.
Or even like when you're dating.
Oh yeah, and that one magical yes is the realize why we all went through like that one, you know, those several rejections.
Oh.
I love the silence that came after that. The silence
and then
silence that came after. Guys, what you didn't see in that silence was like it's like Troy and Shay looked straight at me. I was like, why? All my rejections?
No, I was honestly thinking about my own, and I'm sure Troy was thinking about his. Like I was more just doing like a whole like. Oh, yeah, those moments.
Guys, haven't really had many, so...
We've all heard...
I actually haven't, though.
We've all heard the 36 calls. We've all heard the 36 call story on here.
That was probably one of the only ones.
Anyway...
At least we can own our Shay. We can own it.
But you know what? It's one of those that same thing. I think people just sometimes, with rejection, like Troy said, it happens in everyday life, in everything you're doing. You've kind of got to keep this mindset of, okay, yes, it's really hard in your career, but I do it so much more in my other life as well, and I survive it. And I keep pushing through, like dating and stuff like that. You're like, God, I've had a really shit date, or that person treated me so shit, or whatever it was,
Not
and they
even that.
rejected
Sometimes
me.
when you're just asking a random question to someone and then they like shut you down with it, that's even a form of rejection. Like,
Well, and it's just anything, and you survive it.
Yeah.
You get past it. So people go, so why do you keep doing what you're doing? And I think for me, it's like Taryn said, because I love it, because the yes is so much sweeter when you get it, and you get to do that thing you're so passionate about that you love so much.
YOLO.
YOLO?
Taryn is officially cancelled. The YOLO is still going.
YOLO's apparently still
Been
making
here
it
since the
serious.
first episode.
That's what Shay's saying. We only have one.
I
YOLO!
love how in the first episode Taryn tried to act like she never says YOLO. Turns out Taryn says it in every day.
I never say YOLO.
She says it every day.
She's a closet YOLOer.
We had dinner on Thursday and she said YOLO.
I reckon about 15
A lot
times.
of times.
Yeah.
She did.
When?
She said YOLO.
I just said it then because I thought
She
I was
said
being funny,
YOLO.
but clearly no one else thought I was funny.
No, but legit, she on Thursday she did say YOLO.
No, I didn't.
She did.
I
She
don't
did.
even remember. But yeah, I think that's the thing with rejection. Is that I think a lot of people give up in this industry. A lot of people will say, I just can't do it anymore. And I get it, Taryn. There's been times where we've literally been, you're crying because you're like, I can't do it. And then you start laughing and you go, God, I love it. And I'm fine. And it's so good. Tears streaming
It's
down your
so
face.
hard.
And it does get really, 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 really hard. But I think the way that maybe we can have a talk about this is how you personally get through it. But I think the way that I get through rejection is I just look at it as if that there's nothing else I want to do.
I think to go off what Shay said, it's just like, when you do get rejected in life, there's so much more. She said this before, but there's everyday life of like, I've got to go do that and I've got to look forward to that and this happens and that happens. Pick the pieces up.
Yeah.
And, we're old enough now to do that.
You learn,
You learn very quickly.
You become tougher. You become
Yeah.
tougher. And I think, the thing that I think that gets me through the rejections is probably, I keep saying to myself, the moment I stop loving it and it stopped making me feel good when I do it, like that's when I will stop, like if I haven't gotten there yet. But because I still, like Shay said, can't picture anything else I'd want to be doing, and every time I do step on a set, it's literally my favourite thing ever. That's those little moments that keep me going for it.
Almost like when those hard times start outweighing the good feelings about it is probably when, sometimes it's maybe that's when people do step away, and maybe they should then, because you shouldn't be doing something that makes you feel so unhappy. But I think ultimately rejection shapes who you are. Like Troy said, you learn as you get older how to handle it better. And it's important that you face it. Otherwise, if you never face rejection ever, when it comes, I wouldn't want to be on the other end of that.
That's when it seems like your world is ending, and rejection really shouldn't make you feel like your world is ending. You should have all these other amazing things going on. That big one thing shouldn't take over your life.
100%. So I think it's important that if you do feel like you're either like chasing a dream that you're passionate about, chasing a boy or a girl or whatever it is, and you feel like you keep getting these no's from people and doors slammed in their face, that yes is just around the corner and you can't get it unless you keep trying.
Yeah.
It's
the only way to keep pushing through it.
Totally.
Cute. Well, I feel like that's bringing us to the end of the episode. I feel like this is a topic that could just go on about in so many different forms of our lives. But
Yep, for sure.
next, I don't even remember what we're going to be talking about next time.
Oh, we've got so much fun stuff up our sleeve. And then Taryn's
You'll have to
leaving
stay
us.
tuned.
Taryn's leaving us for Europe then, so
Woohoo! I can't wait. I'm going to be in
Jealous.
the sunshine. But we'll be back with more Unfamous Files, so stay tuned.
yay, bye.
Bye.